Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Jake Sick with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakesick.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're listening to this on our audio platforms, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe and please download this podcast and download this episode and all the other episodes. I'm thrilled to welcome my current guest today on the fifth anniversary season of the podcast. She is a singer-songwriter and also an actress that could be seen on Freeform, HBO, and Nickelodeon. She's also a Spotify verified artist. And as of this recording, she has over 49,700 Instagram followers. So please help me welcome Maya J to the podcast.
Woo! Hey, how's everyone? And how are you, first and foremost? Thank you for having me.
I am doing good. A little tired. I've been pulling through this fifth anniversary season. It's been on fire, so I'm getting a little exhausted, but however, I'm excited. But I'm very happy that you're here, Maya J.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Maya J. So first of all, thank you so much for taking time on your schedule to talk with me today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'm happy to be here.
All righty, awesome. So let's get started. So, Maya, when did you get interested in performing, and how did that passion evolve into the desire to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
Well, of course, I grew up in an arts community and inside an artistic family. I attended an art school through middle and high school. My aunt was a world-traveling flutist, a band director. She even gave privates. My uncle's a painter. My other aunt is a writer, and she sketches beautifully. My mom will create the best outfits for me from that Forever 21 is still not smart enough to put on a mannequin. So I feel like I am blessed to be in somewhat of a genius mind arena. And so, yeah, that's where I just feel like I couldn't be doing anything else. This is all I know. Arts are all I know and all I want to know.
And I'm glad too. I actually did the arts. I'm also a huge advocate of the arts as well. I've given some donations to Angel City Chorale, which is a program in Los Angeles that
yes.
I've done that. And I've also been a proud theater kid from 6th grade to 12th grade and a proud choir kid from 5th grade to 12th grade. So
nice.
In the arts. Thank you.
Cheers to you, thespian.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So we're not here to talk about me and all my theatrical endeavors way back in the good old days. We're here to talk about you. So who are the recording artists that inspired yourself?
I think that the first two artists that pop into my head when I think of inspirations or just, people that really set a good stage in my young mind were Sade and Dido. I think they really have a similarity to me. I also have a soul that was bred by hearing R&B stations like The Wave and things like The Quiet Storm. Definitely that was the soundtrack to my young life. So when I think about my music now and why there's always smooth R&B involved or elements of soft emotional romance, I think back and I say, The Quiet Storm just probably did inspire me. And I it was subconscious throughout my life that I just had a profound effect on me.
It's amazing that what music can do. Is like I remember listening to a lot of greatest hits versions, like Stevie Wonder's greatest hits album, and then Aretha Franklin's Jewels in a Crown, her duets album that she did, and Ray Charles, Genius Loves Company, and Genius and Friends. Those are some really great albums, really wonderful albums.
Yes, they really are. And those definitely popped up on The Quiet Storm also. So it's cool that you know that.
Absolutely. I love R&B music and vintage R&B. And I'm excited that Usher performing the Super Bowl.
Oh, yes. That's going to be crazy. And I can't wait to see that. That's we're days away from that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's get back to our conversation at hand. So you have appeared on several networks and streaming platforms such as Freeform, HBO, and Nickelodeon. So what were some of the lessons that you learned from those experiences that helped you grow as a performer?
Each project that you do contributes, I believe, to your growth and artistic development and overall wisdom. Maybe you don't think so at the time. When you're there, when you're in the moment, you're thinking, how smart, how amazing am I to have this opportunity? I got this for myself. I did that. You're feeling more proud than anything, or maybe more excited than anything. But then you look back and you get to see your journey from with a bird's eye view from your current self. And then you say, wow, I really learned this from that. Or I didn't know this about a set, or I didn't know this about making records. And then you see you learned all of that many years later, and you're able to kind of like be thankful for your experiences. So that's where I am. That's what I believe.
And not to mention the fact that not a lot of people in your generation are able to say, hey, I was on Freeform. Hey, I was on Nickelodeon.
Well, yeah, that's true. So I can put a nice check mark on the bucket list for those.
Absolutely. So every time when I interview a recording artist, I always talk about the stories behind your songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked out 4 songs for you, if you don't mind telling the stories behind all of them.
Okay. Are those the ones that you picked your favorites by chance, or
Absolutely. I just recently got Chills. It was fabulous. I felt it was very like almost sizzle level.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's nice. That's really great because I love SZA, so I'm glad that you are thinking of me in the same vein. That's very cool.
Awesome. So what is the story behind Chills?
Okay, so Chills, the story behind Chills is Maya basically writing about my overriding theme is like always a romance / hint of issue, but like sexy sensualness with whatever my mind concocts as far as my poetry. So the actual story behind Chills is very, oh my God. Okay. So I went from having symptoms of you, right? To then I asked for you to come find me. It's just another symptom of life. And now I've gone through this whole journey to where it came down to Chills. It's the most, mature feeling in my mind. And I think that the lyrics will speak for themselves and also give a universal effect to the point where other people can play it and say, hey, this is my boo too. You give me chills. Maybe the guy from Come Find Me is now giving me chills. So that's the story.
And that definitely sounds like it could be woven into a album or like a Taylor Swift story.
Absolutely. And the thing is, the funny thing about Taylor Swift announcing yesterday that she is having the Tortured Poets Department, I feel like she said she's the chairman of the Tortured Poets Department. I feel like I'm the vice president or something. I'm definitely, that's all I say. I'm a tortured poet. So all of my music will definitely speak that. And it definitely has a line, because what you said, an album, that's totally how I feel. I feel like all of this is eventually supposed to be on an album. And now the recent stuff is just following a story. I have like I was saying, symptoms, then Going to Come Find Me, then it's Like You, then we have Trouble, then we have, down to now the new ones, which is Chills and the upcoming single. So I definitely always weave stories when I write music, and I hope other people pick that up too. I think that's very cool, Jake.
You're so welcome. I'm glad you like that. I gotta say, I'm looking forward to that album. So I want to talk about, we talked about Like You, and I want to talk to you. And as of our conversation, it has over 14,600 Spotify streams. So can you tell me about Like You?
Yes. Like You was definitely a heartbreak / feeling bad about whoever is telling you what they're telling you song. I was definitely in my blue period when I wrote Like You, kind of like they say, Picasso's blue period. We joke about that because it definitely feels emotional and a little bit sad almost to some people, but the music is still sensual, and we still keep that soft R&B line. So I I think like you and the video also, how it starts in black and white and it comes into color. That was a major theme as far as me trying to break free of whatever pain that I'm being caused by this person with Like You. So that was the major story there.
And another major song that you spoke about in our conversation, I remember that when I heard Come Find Me, and right now it has over 33,800 Spotify streams. And you did say Come Find Me was basically almost the equivalent of like Chills, if I remember correctly.
It's like it was like a way precursor, you know, that I didn't know was a precursor. So they're definitely, they could be sister singles even. Doesn't have to be, but definitely something that it was more of a crushy, please, love you, come find me feeling. And lots of people, and you know, that was my most played because that was the single that Radio Disney was pushing. So that was really cool. That's why it has all those Spotify streams.
I gotta say, it's really cool to have Radio Disney to have your back, or especially
yes,
have a song with it.
We will always love Radio Disney, even if now they're off the air. It's okay because Radio Disney raised us, right?
Absolutely. I remember even going on radio, like listening to Radio Disney, or like the equivalent of like that. There was before Radio Disney happened, there was like in the Midwest where I'm from, and there was a kid station called Radio Oz, and I think Radio Oz was bought by Radio Disney.
Oh wow! Okay, Midwest and Radio Oz. I have to look into that. That's cool.
Yeah, I remember it was a really cool radio station, right down. So I want to round up my song selection because the last one I want to talk to you about is Trouble.
Okay, Trouble. Oh my gosh, that was such a fun one. This was one of my pandemic babies, and with Trouble was inspired actually by a load of different things that I was going through right then, which even were outside of relationships, more business wise. But then I brought it back to, gosh, you know what? This guy is trouble. He's causing me all this trouble and drama with my business. So that's where the two kind of blended in, and it was like, okay, I'm going to make this now a universal anthem. So it's people's anthem who are sick and tired of him for giving her trouble or giving him trouble, whoever is experiencing it. You know, you guys can still jam to Trouble right now because he is trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, nearly 53,000 Spotify streams can't be wrong.
Right. And I was super happy to have like 100,000. I think it hit 100,000 on YouTube, like a month after I released the video. So that was really cool.
It's amazing what the moment, like you're slowly building up to the viral stage and like seeing those numbers escalate and build up.
Yes. Frankly, I will be most happy when I'm still producing music that people are able to feel something from. That's the most important thing. I think numbers are amazing and just an offset of being passionate about your work. So, you know, when it happens, it happens.
Absolutely. We're on our journey, and you're right now crushing it. You're slowly but surely building it, doing all the stuff, because the thing is, everyone knows with our industries, podcasting and music, everyone expects to be overnight success as well. It takes long times to build it.
Exactly. You know what they were saying at the Grammys the other night, Victoria Monet just said she was like a 15-year overnight success. So definitely overnight success is just not a thing. It's a long haul. So, and I've been in this, so I get it.
And I've got it too, because two of my biggest heroes when it comes to journalism and television and media are Regis Philbin and Barbara Walters. And both of them were in their 80s when they retired after nearly 50 years, respectively.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all of those things that sometimes you don't see it, but people have to realize that things in anything worth having is hard.
Absolutely. There's been some times I've had some doubts about this, about my podcasting and everything. And sometimes the grass is always greener effect has also been a challenge as well in overcoming that.
Absolutely. And the grass always looks greener on the other side, even though it sometimes shouldn't. You have to really focus. And I think our era of social media and comparing yourself to other people and what their glitzy lives may look like is so common to make yourself feel like you're not doing as much, even when you're doing a lot.
And we're all on our respective journeys. You can't and this is not invasion of body snatchers and suddenly you're matching in their body.
Right. Invasion of the body snatchers. That is so true. Perfect way to put it. Right.
Absolutely. So I want to talk to you about your dream collaborators. Have you created a list where you thought of, okay, I want to bring in this singer, this songwriter, this musician, or this producer? And if so, how would they enhance your sound?
Okay. I do have a list of dream collaborators that I think of like right off the top of my head. I have two separate sets though, because as an actor / film guru, I have those, and then I have the musical ones. So I'll just give you the musical ones since we're talking about music. So my dream collaborators musically are Rodney Jerkins, Party Next Door, Ryan Tedder, Julia Michaels, and Chris Brown, because his vocals would just add so much to a duet or R&B style ballad. And it'd be like, yes, I'm just overall excited to do a duet with a great male voice, because a male voice, like 99.9% of the time, makes a song hotter. It just does. I don't make the rules. But yeah, I'm thinking, and also the Biebs. Justin Bieber would be like Justin Bieber and Chris Brown vocally would be amazing collaborate. I couldn't even fathom. And after I was done fainting, it would be worth it.
And I gotta say, Chris Brown and Jordan Sparks' "No Air" remains one of the most timeless duets of all R&B duets of all time for our generation.
Yeah, agreed, absolutely. And we're still it's amazing how that song has lasted. It aged so well. It definitely passed the test of time. It still sounds amazing. The production is so flawless almost till today. It still sounds mainstream. Like it could be a hit again.
Absolutely. And speaking of hits, I instantly thought of Rihanna, especially with "Stay" with Mickey Echo.
Oh yeah, that song is great too. I love "Stay." That is one of my favorite Rihanna songs. And actually, I think about songs like Pieces by Chloe. That song kind of has the little "Stay" by Rihanna vibe, and I really, really like it. I noted that when I first heard it, but that's probably why I love "In Pieces" also.
Yeah, this is incredible. And you've also brought up some pretty amazing people like Julia Michaels, and along with Justin Tranter, who I interviewed way years ago. They are basically building back since the mid 2010s. They've done a wonderful job doing that.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's super cool that you interviewed them. You said you interviewed them both together?
No. This was Justin Tranter when he was still with his band before he found the songwriting success he had.
That's very cool because Justin Tranter, he's someone who's extremely talented in the songwriting world. And as a songwriter, I always seek to bring my own expertise to these already well-versed and amazing artists. I absolutely love Julia Michaels as a songwriter and as an artist herself. She's killing it. And a lot of times when you...
Yeah, I mean, though you mentioned Julia Michaels, I gotta say, Issues is wonderful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I feel like if I were to collaborate with use what I do and collaborate with the people that I listed, I think that it would be fire, to be honest. I really do, because sometimes you look up and you're like, oh, this melody's great that I just made. What producer would absolutely crush it? And that's who I think. And then I think, oh my gosh, Julia Michaels would make this chorus to this amazing verse that I have just like so amazing. So a lot of times beautiful things are birthed on collaboration, and more than one head is always perfect. And I think that, yeah, it's time I collaborate with one of those because I think it'd be cool.
And I agree too. Any of those artists, I definitely see. I hope that you get a Julia Michaels and Ryan Tedder piece or Party Next Door piece that's duet with you, or you with Justin Bieber or Chris Brown.
Oh my gosh, let's manifest that really quickly. Pretend it's 11/11 and let's just say Maya J is going to do a vocal collab with Justin Bieber or Chris Brown, produced by Party Next Door or Ronnie Jerkins, and Julia Michaels and Maya J will be a co-writer. Will be co-writers on this song. So that is a manifestation. That's what we're going to say is going to happen.
We're definitely going to send it. We are definitely sending it right now into the multiverse.
Yes. Okay. Whew. It's out there.
All righty. And while we're on the subject of Ronnie Jerkins, I got to say that man is a legend.
He's a genius, period. Like, you know, I don't ever like to purposely blow up people's heads, but okay. It's okay because you're killing it. Rodney, if you're listening, you know my email address.
Awesome. So we got to talk about the new age of artistry. I think social media has been very interesting to see because because it gives the power of. I've always think that social media has given everyone the power to promote themselves instead of waiting on a huge record label or like a huge publication company.
Yeah, definitely. So I think social media has been one of the reasons that TV has almost gone down, because where people are seeking their entertainment from online, it's instant, it's quick. You don't have to pay for it other than your phone bill. And, you know, it is like that. So we as artists are finding ways constantly to ensure that we use technology in the best way possible that can still support art while giving people what they need, which is basically instant gratification.
Absolutely. And sometimes instant gratification can be a backfire so badly.
It really can, because then you binge a whole show and it's over. You watch a TikTok and you're like, I need more. So in an hour, you can be, instead of having one great show, you'll be like, oh my God, I just watched 2,000 TikTok videos. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. So yeah, a blessing and a curse. Definitely. I feel more of creating a somewhat attention hyperactive society. But it's okay. We'll get through it. Absolutely.
And I was about ready to say, I'd rather have that time I could easily get lost in rabbit holes. And I have Instagram as and YouTube are two social media platforms. I get lost in rabbit holes. But however, what are some of your favorite social media platforms to interact with your fans?
Well, my personal favorite social media platform is Instagram. But as I say that, I think about in the past, 5 years or 7 years, when social media first started, I was like, oh my gosh, I like Twitter. And then, that kind of shifted to where we're on Instagram. And then I started loving Instagram. And now I love Instagram. And there are some people who are much older than me who are like, oh, I like MySpace the best. And as we know, the fate of MySpace is no longer. So I think that we're all going to change with the current, whatever it is. And I just got on TikTok. It took me all the time. And I'm just now on TikTok. And I'm like, okay, follow me as I figure out how this works, because what's interesting is even though I'm not a TikToker, of course, but there's so many people that are TikTokers that venture off into acting and music. And then I'm an actor and a musician, and I'm now venturing into TikTok. So it's an interesting way how social media now controls life. But overall, I'm still an Instagram baby. So just follow on Instagram and don't let me learn TikTok more. Let me get along with it. Let me get along with TikTok.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that's struggling TikTok, because I joined in November and I'm still scratching my head.
We're like, what? Not another one.
Yeah, I think Instagram. I think I've mastered Instagram, and I can stay around Instagram, and and of course Facebook. But like TikTok, I am not dancing.
And now it is interesting, but hey, songs are on TikTok, so make a TikTok to chill. And yeah, I'm excited to see more of where this takes life.
Alrighty, so Maya, last question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so where can my audience find your music, and where can connect with you on social media?
Okay, well, my music is on all streaming platforms like Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, Radio, iHeartRadio, all of that good stuff. So if there's a music app, I'm on it. Tidal also. And you'll find me under Maya J. That's just MAYA, and then the letter J afterwards, my initial. My website is thisismayajenkins.com. And that you can sign up for updates and like exclusive content and stuff if you leave your email address. And that's really cool. So I want you to go to my official site. And my Instagram is Maya Jenkins Forever. That's just MAYAJENKINS forever, because I'll be Maya Jenkins forever. And yeah, so check it out, Maya J Music on Apple and Spotify.
Alrighty, so if you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast, visit our channels on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Spotify, and Spreaker. Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And you want to know what's going on with what happened on America's Got Talent Fantasy League and what's going on with The Masked Singer and my take on Maya's music, visit jakes-shake.com. Once again, jakes-shake.com. Maya, thank you so much for taking time in your schedule to talk with me today. I really appreciate it. And I cannot wait to see what you do next.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you as well. Yes. And stay tuned.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, everybody, have a great one. Goodbye.